Yo, what's going on, guys? Dark Monster here, and we're back once again with another MTG deck video. I've actually recorded this and uploaded it once, but there seemed to have been some sort of issue, so I deleted that one, and we're going to re-record this one. I tried doing multiple things with it, and it just didn't want to work, so I said, screw it. We'll do it, but better, right? This deck is honestly quite insane. It focuses entirely on synergy and life gain and outvaluing, outscaling, everything like that. The deck has literally no removal. So if that's a thing that I need to do, I just lose. But more often than not, it doesn't end up mattering. It's not complete, and this is being uploaded the day before. It's being recorded and uploaded the day before Crimson Vow comes out, and when that set is out and I have a bunch of those cards, I will definitely be getting a bunch more cards in here because I'm very excited about that prospect. Definitely saw some things that fit right at home in this deck. But in the meantime, based on what is currently in Midnight Hunt as of this moment, from my collection, because I play on a completely free-to-play account, I put zero money. I have not even connected any sort of payment method. This is all stuff that I've opened in packs. So first things first, or crafted. First things first, cleric class. It's pretty much essential. It ends up gaining you so much extra life that you can take huge hits from the opponent and just not care, because you'll gain more than that back. It is it's one of the only ways your creatures can grow in size outside of the ones that just do it themselves. It makes all your other creatures grow as well. And it can bring back anything that we need to just completely set all the triggers off or start scaling up again. It's so great. It really does everything we need. Next up is Lunar Veteran. It is absolutely essential to have as many of these enter the battlefield gain a life triggers as we can, and that backside when you disturb it is kind of interesting because sometimes we're in a situation where they keep trying to remove things, and having just one extra way to gain life when things leave kind of makes an extra difference even when things aren't entering. It's weird, but it does matter, and the fact that it can fly and block some very important things does come into play. But mostly it's there because it's a one drop that gains life when the next thing hits, which more often than not is the Moon Dancer. And this is basically the same as the Unicorn in the sense that it grows, but that card advantage, that scry, is stupendous. And honestly, it bogs down a lot of the triggers from just rapid firing. But I've found a way to kind of quickly navigate through them whenever possible. And then the Innkeeper, the treasure it's relevant, but it's mostly just a fix when we need double green or when we really just need to dump our hand on the field. But it's not like the most relevant part of the card. It's not why we play it. We play it because it's another creature that gains its life when something enters the battlefield. But the treasure does come in handy. And probably the most slept on card in the deck, Potion of Healing. It's 2 mana for a redraw, so it's basically a cycle, but it sits on the field, and for 1 mana I can tap it and sack it to gain 3 life when I choose to. I can do this at instant speed, I can do this at sorcery speed, it doesn't matter. The important part of this is that it's a delayed life gain trigger, so that maybe I need to draw the thing that this works with, maybe I need to draw some extra land to make some things work, or maybe I need to gain life at instant speed, not when I'm casting spells. So it really does come in handy, and people forget about it all the time, and I get extra life gain triggers and win in combat more when they think they're going to trade favorably for them, and I just end up basically coming out looking like a daisy. And then we mentioned it, the Celestial Unicorn. Again, just like the Moon Dancer, it grows whenever we gain life naturally. Because it's not a cleric and it's not an angel, it gets a little awkward, but it definitely helps keep pressure on. Force Celebrant is huge, not only because it gains life whenever something has a battlefield, but also whenever it enters itself. That alone is a huge thing for sequencing, and you can maximize so many triggers so quickly. But also it's a cleric, which works really, really well for the Valkyrie. And having a 1/4 body is fairly relevant most of the time. Priest of Ancient Lore. This is one that I crafted this one. I think either I crafted it or I already had one. Either way, I ended up not needing more based on what I already had. If I was to make cuts, whether they would be cut more land or whatever the case may be, I would actually run more of these. But as is, everything's pretty solid. But this card is good for this entire shell. And then obviously Righteous Valkyrie. Whenever you get to 27 or more life, you'll pump everything by +2/+2. These work amazingly in multiples. And honestly, if I had a 4th one or was willing to craft one, I would cut the Priest of Ancient Lore and just run 4 of these because it's just that goddamn good. It's flying, it's a 2/4, and many of these cards are clerics. That's a cleric, that's a cleric, that's a cleric, that's a cleric. So the angels doesn't really matter unless we get another one of these. It's the only angel, but it's a huge boost in life because it goes off of toughness and it pumps everything once you get to a certain point. So it's a board wide pump, which is huge. And again, in multiples, they gain a shit ton of life and pump your board pretty well. And then the reason that we really started playing this deck again, why I rebuilt it, was I saw this card in play with a couple other cards in somebody else's deck, and I said, holy shit, this makes everything work so well, because it's everything you could want. It gains you life whenever you cast a white spell, and it can gain, or it can draw you cards if you have not dropped below the life total that it remembered from your upkeep, which is huge. Or I guess technically on the first turn when it comes into play. So we will always be able to get this to draw. Almost always. And then it's another way to gain even more life gain triggers. You Meet in a Tavern, honestly, has been a stellar card. I have never used the Start a Brawl mode on it, but digging 5 for any number of creatures and putting them into your hand is huge. I have actually whiffed on this card recently. In the last video that I made that didn't quite make it, I whiffed. I've never whiffed on this card before now. Before then, I guess I should say. But it's just so good to just refill your hand, because once you get to the point where you're late game and you can cast 4 mana freely, and especially after like board wipes and things like that, you can just refill everything and redeploy and go. So definitely worth the inclusion, and it helps make the green really worth it in the deck. And then Cosmos Elixir, I didn't craft any extra. I had 2, and it felt really good to have 2, because it doesn't always gain life and it doesn't always draw, but it will do one or the other. And so in addition to the Splendor, I felt like it was like having 5 copies instead of 4 without having to craft any extras. Obviously that's not quite how it works, but it was similar concept, similar vein of thought. It's not consistent in what exactly you're going to get every single time, because our life total fluctuates a lot, because we take a lot of damage and then heal a lot of it back up. So I want both effects, and I don't get them one at once. I don't get them together, and it's inconsistent which one I'm going to get. So that's why there's only 2. And short of that, we go to the land. We have Cave of the Frost Dragon and Lair of the Hydra as our creature lands. And then we have the 2 pathways, because that's what I've opened. 3 of the farmland, because that's also what I've opened. And then 12 plains, 5 forests, giving us 24 lands. I could actually see myself cutting a land at some point, but I'm not sure. But the deck is definitely very strong and gets quite nutty. So without further ado, let's get into the games. Alrighty, let's see what we got. Diego. Where it is daughter. Alright. Turn 1, turn 2, both of these. Turn 3 Valkyrie, maybe? We'll have to see. We'll probably keep if we need to have that on green. We'll have to see how this goes. Alright. Well, that kind of determines that now, doesn't it? Maybe I should have done it in the opposite order. A fellow life gain deck. This will be interesting. Honestly, if they take that trade, it's totally worth it for us. Okay. Worst case scenario, we can use the treasure to play the Valkyrie. I'd rather not. I got the unicorn. Alright. Play this, we'll gain 1, we'll gain 2. If we do this, we'll gain more. And it gives us a chance to draw again. Okay, still no form of life gain from them. That's huge. Very big. Do we pop it or do we save it for one of the other cards? I think we might save it. Let's see. We gain 1, 2, 3, 4. Otherwise we would gain double, right? You know what? We're gonna get risky. And that's why. So even if we have to take a hit here, that's fine. Still hasn't gained a life on their side. That's honestly fine. I'd rather it exist than have to attack or block. Okay. We only have the 3, and this is definitely the one we play, I think. Actually, no. This is the one we play. Because this will grow. And then next turn, when we play this, it'll grow it. That's first life gain trigger they've had so far. That's so funny. Okay. We're chilling. We could probably play the Elixir to just keep drawing cards. Because it's going to be a hot minute before we have to worry about anything. Considering we're at 50. Okay. Splendor's a big deal. I can start drawing extra cards. I can start gaining extra life. Okay. Do we refill? I think we can still chump block quite a bit and not have to worry about dying. Do we do this? Do we do this? I think we do this. Okay, next turn, we pretty much have to do this. But the important part is that we can play any creature we get from this, guaranteed. So that's 8 plus 20. 28. Quite a bit. I guess we just go like this, and worst case scenario, we can use the disturb to get it back. That's another life gain trigger. Wow, just the one, huh? It's unfortunate. Okay. We're both basically doing the same thing, but I think we're scaling the life gain slightly harder. But they had the removal that we didn't. So again, I think we block the bigger one. We take a shit ton. Do we take 31? More than 31? That's a yes, but we're gonna have to do what we gotta do. Oh no, we don't. So we gain an extra card draw. And we gain extra life, that's right. So no, we're good. Okay, this is huge. Huge. Play this. Gain a life. Four, 5, 6, 7. Exactly how much we have. I did this, I could only play this, but then I can start putting +1 counters on everything. This is a better use of our mana though. This gives us card advantage, but we don't have to care about that right now. We can worry about that later. As you can see, the triggers just keep going crazy. No attacks. Say go. And again, we can do the exact same thing and gain more life by blocking something with this. with the setup we have, we will outscale them. Even though they have cards that are not legal in normal standard, we are in best of one play mode so they can play them. Which is how they get the Orator, how they get the Angel of Vitality, and how they get the Hallowed Priest. I actually don't know what they just used. Okay. They had 2 more removal spells. That's funny. So the last one was 26. Again, we could just do the exact same thing. Block the biggest one. Take the exact same amount of damage for now. Don't get the extra card draw, but that's fine because look at what we do get. So play this. Here. Keep that on top. It took a minute, but they really quickly realized that we have an engine that they do not have. We had ways to recur one of the creatures in our graveyard, which would be only these two, but that's if, you know, need be. If they did have ways to remove things, we had more cards just coming in than they did. We had the card advantage. And this is why this deck works so much better, in my opinion, is because you have the card draw from this and this, and the card advantage from this, and just these extra triggers constantly. Casting white spells, gaining life. Huge things. So we beat the worst mirror match. Alright, next up, do it for Bubba! An old school Angrath icon. Oh, this is rough. We can hope for a green source, play Cave, Cleric. We have to play Plains, and we do, and then we hope for a green source or third land. Too good not to. There it is. Third land and everything. And they are on black-white, so removal is expected, but you can only do what you can do. That's fine. Do this and do this. Next turn we play the Core Celebrant and gain a bit more. Quite a bit more. So they're a Into the Dungeon deck. Prevention Into the Dungeon deck. Problem with that is that I don't think they're going to be able to get through very easily. Because, like, good luck, bud. Unfortunate. I can still block the Nadar, though. Which I will. Okay. Do this. There we go. So they still got a minute before Nadar pumps the board. So we will get an extra draw off the Splendor. A lot of this is just navigating setup. We'll keep it just in case we need to replace it, and then we could either do this with the treasure or we could do this and leave up that extra life gain. We will get another trigger. We will say go. Now we have a creature that threatens to kill Nadar. He did choose the longest dungeon possible. Creature with Death Touch could be annoying. Alright, we don't need to pop this yet, so we could just say go. Extra draws, that would be insane. We would need one more land before we can make that happen. We do have a treasure, and we can replace the treasure, right? Oh, but it wouldn't trigger that. We can do this. And then use the treasure. Do need mana, but we can draw extra cards. Probably get it anyway. It's a valuable threat. We can work with that. Say go. And we're going to start to scale up very nicely. All right. Alright, we still get an extra draw. There's the extra land I was talking about. Can we do both? Not without costing ourselves a treasure. It's fine, we can wait. We are patient. Are we patient? We're not very patient. Sure. You can see how this quickly gets very much out of hand. Now they do have a Death Touch creature and another one that wants to have Death Touch. That's annoying. And that's why we got the other dancers. We didn't have to worry about that part. Alright, we still get to draw 2 extra cards now. Getting good refills. Fortunately, all lands. So that's the only card in the grave. We do this. Oh yeah, we want Valkyrie. It's gonna pump the whole team. And be a relevant flyer. Okay, and then we do this. And then we have the thing if we need it. Potion. Alright, we draw a bunch more cards. Alright, let's do it. Double Valkyrie. All the way into the sky. I love it. Triggers for days. Don't need more land right now. It's a redraw, but we don't need to worry about that, do we? Probably not. Sure. All right. And then next turn, I believe we swing in with everything. Perfect. Sure. Tapped his only flyer, but okay. I think he basically gave up. All right. Here we are against K. This one's a little weak because we don't have any enablers, but we can redraw and gain if we need to. It's a little awkward, I'm not gonna lie to you. But I'm gonna try to make it work. Don't really have much in the way of life gain enablers. Do this, and then should we need it, we can activate the potion with the unicorn. What do you get rid of? The creature? Or the cleric? Okay. That's actually better, because if they got rid of the cleric class, I wouldn't have as easy a time getting the creature back. So I'm actually fine with that. And then next turn, the binding will give his creatures death touch. Toski. Gonna be able to draw one card, I'll tell you that. Okay. Do that. And the creatures do have death touch, so they are going to get to draw. It is annoying. It is what it is. No, thank you. I actually wish they did one more damage to me, so I'd be under 20. Well, that sucks. Only be left with 3, which I can't do anything with. Alright. These Toski things are getting to be a little bit annoying, because I can't deal with Toski, and I can't stop him from gaining or drawing cards if he doesn't allow me to have creatures to block with. Got a lot of cards on the field. Less worried about my life, more worried about him drawing cards. I do this, one of them doesn't die this turn unless he sacrifices one to get rid of one of my enchantments. Or the artifact, that'll work too. Okay, so we don't start leveling a cleric class until this is gone. That's a nifty card. This is an interesting one. We did not keep a great hand. And the opponent is going to get to do lots of shenanigans. We're going to keep wailing on us for now. We're going to make one of their creatures go away. They have so many cards. I think I lose just based on the fact that they were able to get this engine rolling. That's not legendary. Huh. What do you know? Alright, that seals the deal on that one. It was a very poor hand to keep, and then with the draws we got, it just got worse. But you can't win them all. That's how it goes. That's the nature of Magic. I was hoping that we could show off a game that went quickly. Fortunately, we couldn't. But yeah, that's that. Again, I really enjoy this deck. I've been having a lot of fun with it, and I can't wait for the new set to come out and for me to get more of these cards in here and start tweaking it again. But I think even at this shell, this will be great, and definitely contend with some of the things we're going to be seeing coming out. But hopefully you guys enjoyed the deck as well. If you found it at all entertaining or insightful or anything else, please make sure you hit the like button, or if you did not like it, hit that corresponding button as well. If you have any questions or would like to suggest any sort of deck that you want to see, or have any other ideas for videos, please make sure you leave them in the comments below. I greatly appreciate any and all feedback. And if you liked this video, we have more that are Magic, as well as other games. So you can feel free to hit the subscribe button if you want to see more. And if you want to be notified whenever we do upload, if you are subscribed, you can hit the notification bell so that you know whenever one goes live. We post roughly 2 to 3 videos a week if possible. I've been pretty consistent on that, outside of, a couple minor issues. But that's that. Yeah, I'm excited. Tomorrow is the release of Crimson Vow for myself, so we'll have to see what I get. But ladies and gentlemen, you've been wonderful. I've been Dark Monster, but that's it for me. Goodbye.